Bueno. En esta segunda parte tendremos dos ponentes, Sinam Mohamad, presidenta del People's Council for Western Kurdistan, del Kurdistán en Siria, y luego Milja Radovic de la Peace Initiative de Edimburgo, en Edimburgo. Os pido por favor que subáis.
Initiative de la paix d'Edimbourg, Edinburgh Peace Initiative, chargé de recherche du projet CITSEE.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure today that I am among the people who are asking and seeking peace and democracy in the world by negotiation and dialogue. I came from my country, Syria, which conflict and fighting is still working there, leaving behind thousands of people, killing them, dead people, destroying everything, buildings, man, and the social community. Because this fighting is among non-balanced forces. The regime, the force of the regime of Al-Bas, who owns heavy weapons, and the other groups which, under the name of Free Syrian Army, also different groups, not united groups, related to different ideologies, and some of them also extreme Islamic thought. And other groups under the name of Jabhat al-Nusra and Dawlat al-Iraq wa Sham, who are related to Al-Qaeda. This is the picture now in Syria. Conflict, fighting between all these groups. And the victims are civil people. Thousands of people now are refugees inside Syria, and 2 million are refugees also outside Syria, in many countries. In this picture, we as Kurds in Syria, in western of Kurdistan, we prefer not to be in one side of this conflict, because we see and we analyze that this conflict and fighting will last many years, maybe many years. So because of this, we prefer to have our own policy. It's the policy of democracy and peace process in Syria, and also self-defense. The democratic way, it is our strategy. The democratic way, by building councils in my country, building councils in our region, the Western Kurdistan. In these councils, we built it in many places, in villages, in cities, and in every place. These councils, not only Kurds are sharing in it, but all the components who are living with us in our region, Western Kurdistan. As you know, in Western Kurdistan, we are Kurds living there. Besides, we have Arabs, we have Syrians, we have Armenians, we have Ashurians, and some others also. And all these components, we want to have, to share with them all the administration which we are now having in Western Kurdistan. Because in our regions, in the Kurdish regions now, there is no presence for the regime or the government there. So the administration there, we are administrating everything in our region. And we are sharing the other components in Western Kurdistan. But what is happening now? We have our units, self-defense units. We are not having any intent to attack anybody, but we protect our region and we protect our people and all the components in our region. This is called the People Protection Units. Now, from 16th of June, these groups, under the name of Jabhat al-Nusra and Dawlat al-Iraq al-Sham, are attacking us, attacking our regions, our Kurdish regions. They have extreme Islamic thought. They accept nothing. Even Islam is not representing them. They don't represent the Islam, the true Islam. So because of that, these people, they don't accept anybody, and they only use their own thought by killing people, not only shooting them, by slaughtering them. And this is the inhumanity in their behavior and actions. Really, they are slaughtering, cutting the heads. We have martyrs. They were inside their hands. When we took it from them, they were without heads. This is the picture now. So, we seek for peace. We seek for democracy. We want democracy in our region. Democracy that nobody just say, I am here. Everybody is there. There are rights for everyone. Everyone has his own rights in our region, whether they are Arabs or Kurds or Christians like Syrians and Assyrians. We protect these components because so many accidents happen when these groups attack the people and kill the Christian people. One girl in the city of Al-Hasaka, she was killed and kidnapped by this only because she is a Christian. Because she is not covering her head, not putting anything on her head. And they say, so you must be killed and killed her. So this is what happened. We don't want this thought to be in our region. And so we are protecting this. Because of this, now the other components, they saw that there is a danger in the place. And there is danger about them also. So now they are, again, they start to join us in this protection. Some of the Sudanese, they join us in the protection units, which is called briefly YPG. And we have also YPG. YPG, it is units, defending units, protecting people, but only are women. It consists of women only, because the woman has its her right to defend herself and to protect herself.
Les femmes également, nous avons le droit de nous protéger.
So because of this, now we are facing these people. who are killing everybody, and we want freedom for everybody, we want peace for everybody, we want democracy, and we don't differentiate between religions or colors or educational or cultural things. We want humanity, brotherhood, and we seek peace, and we are going to make the coexistence between all these components in Western Kurdistan. And we have to build and achieve peace and build a climate of coexistence among all the components in Syria and the Western Kurdistan. So, what is happening? I'm sorry to say, this is the fight still till now. We are with the political solution, peace solution, and negotiation, dialogue to solve the problem in Syria and in Western Kurdistan. And we hope that all the political leaders to support us, the international community also to support us to achieve our aims. And at the end, I would like to thank you and wishing you all the best. Peace and democracy for all the people and all the people all over the world. Thank you very much.
Galderaren bat baldin badaukazue, berarentzat.
Can I ask you if there are any questions or comments from the floor for this presentation?
Okay. Bueno, eskerrik asko.
But if that's not the case, we thank the speaker. Oh, yes, there is a question over there.
Thank you, Mrs. President. Very glad to hear you here. Yesterday we had the mayor of Diyarbakir, also on the Kurdish question. Do you feel any help, any assistance of the Kurdish in the near countries in Turkey and Iraq? And are you believing in this, that this could be an identity to find a solution, a peaceful solution? In Iraq, in Turkey, and in solidarity. And do you think there can be a peaceful solution coming out of this Kurdistan where the mayor of Diyarbakir still believes in?
The Kurds, whether they are in Iraq or Turkey, in everywhere, they don't prefer fighting. They prefer peace and democracy. And we are going to make this. In our policy, in our strategy, we need this. Because we believe in peace and we believe in the brotherhood and in humanity. And these other people who are in Iraq, sometimes really, I mean, even they have now their own regime, even they have this, but still there is also danger about them, because you have so many now pumping, so many cars which pump there in Iraq, also to disturb the people in Iraq. So because of this, the Al-Qaeda and the Islamic thought, extreme Islamic thought, they are dangerous in everywhere, in Iraq, in Turkey, in everywhere. In Turkey also, the Kurds there, they seek peace. After many years of fighting, every time they asked for stopping, ceasefire, but nobody listened. I think till now, nobody wants to listen to the sound of logic violence and peace. Everybody wants fighting and to say, only I am here and nothing and nobody else. Only I am here. So because of this, I think it's still now the peace process, it has so many problems to achieve it, but I hope, and we insist in achieving it. We insist on peace and democracy in Kurdistan, whether it's in Turkey or in Iran or in Syria.
Issue pacifique, que ce soit le Kurdistan d'Irak, de la Syrie, de la Turquie, peu importe. Merci.
Thank you very much.
Eskerrik asko. Muchas gracias.
Merci beaucoup.
Bueno, kafeari denbora kentzen ari diogu ja, oza, que zuzenean urrengora pasako gea. Milja Radovic, bera Edinburgoko PIS iniziatibeko kidea da eta esperientzia hontaz hitzein.
Milja Radovic,
para que nos cuente su experiencia.
que nos raconte son expérience.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Edinburgh Peace Initiative, I would like to thank you all, and especially to Mr. Mayor, for this extremely important and wonderful conference. I would also like to thank you personally. Coming from former Yugoslavia, I have also personal experience of conflict, and I'm aware of all problems and issues that are present in post-conflict societies. Today I will tell you briefly about Edinburgh Peace Initiative. Edinburgh Peace Initiative was established only 2 years ago in Edinburgh by the former Lord Provost, mayor of the city of Edinburgh, who was the mayor for 5 years. And Dr. George Graf, what he recognized a number of international and local organizations, civil society, different kinds of organizations, including different faith groups, a large number of faith groups from all over the world, all based in Edinburgh. And he decided to link them together and to form Edinburgh Peace Initiative, which is also a network, a space and a place that gathers all different people together. The idea is to promote again Edinburgh as a city of peace, as a place for dialogue where people who are in conflict can come and speak and talk about peace. For EPI, for Edinburgh Peace Initiative, as you can see from this slide, peace is much more than the absence of war. I think this is very important to recognize. Peace is not only when the conflict finishes, peace is much more than that. So we want to speak about peace and peace building in a much wider context. We want to speak about individual peace, we want to speak about communities, what does it mean on national, what does it mean on international level, local versus global, and so on. Does global influence local or vice versa? So we want to explore these questions as well. So this is just a bit about the background. As I said, initially there were the 6 key organizations and representatives of civil society and faith groups met together, and the key task was development of peace in all forms. After that, a number of people increased. Now we have a large number, over 30 civil society organizations only based in Edinburgh, and a number of faith organizations, universities. University of Edinburgh is an active participant in Edinburgh Peace Initiative. And the main idea is to speak about conflict transformation and peace through dialogue, through four elements: dialogue, mediation, education, and culture. We also use, because I'm leading a film working group for Edinburgh Peace Initiative, we recognize that the culture is very important for peace building of any kind. So we use film. We have film program in every activity that we do to address conflict and peace building issues, but quite frequently those that are not easy or that are very sensitive to communicate in other forms. So we use media arts or film to communicate quite sensitive issues or those that are not maybe represented in media, in mainstream media. So there are three methods how to address peace for Edinburgh Peace Initiative. That means encouraging integration of peace into various international festivals, because, as you might know, Edinburgh has a large number of festivals, and the most famous one is the Edinburgh International Festival and Fringe. So we are trying to integrate the subject of peace, conflict and peace, conflict resolution into those festivals and develop one of our own. We also want to form like a base. We need literally a physical base, which is currently the UN house in Edinburgh, where we can actually gather and have meetings and so on. And we hope to develop that further. And we also want to promote Edinburgh as a city of peace, which means, again, as I said, neutral space for dialogue, where people can come. And I wanted to tell you just two things about the background. I don't know if you know that, but Professor John Erickson from the politics department during the Cold War started this tradition of bringing people from different sides to Edinburgh as a neutral space to have a conversation, to have a dialogue. So it's again about dialogue, maintaining or achieving peace through dialogue. And also, originally, the idea behind Edinburgh International Festival was the idea of Rudolf Bing to bring different cultures and different people together through arts. We have two key annual events so far. One of them is 24-hour Peace Festival, and it's held annually in May every year. It gathers first of all, there are all different forms of arts represented in this Peace Festival. It brings local communities, primary schools, high schools, students together, all different communities in Scotland together, different faith groups who perform and who just have this time, and it's mainly targeting young people to get together. The second event that we have is International Conference on Conflict Resolution and Peace Building. This year it will be held actually in just a week time or so, on the 19th and the 20th of October, and the subject, the theme, the general theme of this year's conference is Voices in Conflict. So we do want to bring voices that cannot be heard or haven't been heard enough. It is very important to say that the international conference really brings people from all over the world, both academics and both NGOs and governments representatives. So we want to include as many people as possible into this. And we also have workshops, and the major focus of our workshops right now is learning skills how to listen, because we believe that it's very important first to learn how to listen to victims, how to listen to people who are on opposing sides. And as a practice at this conference, we introduced also small workshops in the conference, and we aim to tell people who disagree, perhaps, to go and listen to those they disagree with, not only to those workshops maybe where people are on their side, if you like. The aim of this is what we are doing, basically. We want to continue dialogue and facilitate peace building for people in conflict. These are two major ideas behind the Edinburgh Peace Initiative. Now, I just wanted to add to that that leading the film group, film working group at Edinburgh Peace Initiative, this year, for example, we will show on the 19th of October, we will show the documentary film made by a woman who is Scottish Syrian, and this is the first public screening of the film, documentary film called The Tale of Two Syrias. And this will be followed by a discussion, panel discussion, and we won't have only, professionals, people involved in making the film. We will also have some participants who actually lived in Syria. So what we are trying to do, as I said before, through this film group is to introduce different topics and speak about them. Also in May, we were showing, for instance, the film The Whistleblower, which was never officially released, and at least not in the UK cinemas, and I don't think it was internationally released either, which is a film that speaks about women. It speaks about women as victims of war, position of women in post-conflict societies, but also, more importantly, about the role of international community in post-conflict, in bringing peace, bringing democracy in post-conflict societies. We spoke about this because of the controversial things that happened in Bosnia and that are related to trafficking of women, which is, as we all know, a serious crime, and as it turned out, part of international actors, part of international community and soldiers, international peacemakers who were there, knew about this. And it was covered until one woman discovered and the story became public. So the film is based on a true story. So we want to speak about this as well. So we don't have any specific topic, apart from, as I said, for this year's conference, Voices in Conflict. But Edinburgh Peace Initiative wants to cover as many topics as possible. We want to speak about women, we want to speak about children, we want to speak about forced labor, we want to speak about economic crisis in Europe, inequality, social deprivation, class division. So not just the war, but also about war, also about peace building and different approaches to peace building. So that is it. I don't have too much time left. So thank you very much, and I really hope to see you, if not all of you, at least some of you, I hope to see you in Edinburgh, and I hope we will continue collaboration and talking about peace building in Edinburgh as well. Thank you very much.
Galderarik, ¿alguna pregunta?
Any questions or comments from the floor? I don't know if we have any questions.
No question? Okay. That's fine. Okay.
Bueno, hainbeste gurra sartu diate denborarekin,
Me han insistido tanto con el tema del tiempo, parece que hasta hemos adelantado.
Bueno, me han insistido tanto con el tema del tiempo que al final resulta que entre que no había preguntas y tenía que presionar aquí para que hablasen menos, nos sobra tiempo hasta tomar el café. Voy a tomarme la justicia por mi mano. Hay dos opciones. Si tenéis algún tipo de preguntas, en este momento decís a quién se la formuláis y de los que están presentes subirán y responderán. Lo vamos a hacer así. Y si no hay preguntas, pues simplemente hemos adelantado el recreo y podemos ir a tomar el café ya. Volveremos a las 12. Me había comido todas mis intervenciones, o sea, estamos hablando de casos... Mira, perfecto.
Bueno, es para los anteriores. Y si están en la sala, voy a preguntarles una cosa. A ver si se reciclan e incorporan al proceso de paz los milicos, militares, jefes y semijefes. ¿Cómo conocen algún caso significativo que lo cuenten un poco?
El caso nicaragüense podría ser, seguramente, porque no está aquí. Sí, se reinsertaron los militares al proceso y si están hoy integrados, entiendo que si están hoy integrados en el trabajo que estáis haciendo desde los ayuntamientos.
Bueno, buenas tardes de regreso. En el caso Nicaragua, en la Asamblea Nacional, en la Asamblea de los Diputados, por ejemplo, hay algunos ex militares de la propia contrarrevolución que se han integrado a otras opciones políticas. Vamos a hablar de tendencia de derecha y militan efectivamente en la Asamblea, presentando las debidas propuestas. En el Consejo Municipal nuestro, tenemos inclusive un ex comandante, uno de los 10 comandantes más fuertes de la resistencia armada, de la contrarrevolución, militando en calidad de concejal del Partido Liberal Independiente. Y en la bancada sandinista, la bancada oficial, tenemos inclusive a algunos destacados exmiembros del Ejército Popular Sandinista. Inclusive tenemos al comandante Serafín García, que era vaqueano en la montaña. Vaqueano se le dice guía, ¿no? En la montaña, del propio fundador del Frente Sandinista, en este caso de Carlos Fonseca Amador. De manera que la gente que antes estaba en la lucha en la montaña y también en la ciudad, participó en la guerra por ambos bandos, ahora está integrado a la lucha política, vamos a decir así. Y en las distintas bancadas en el Parlamento Centroamericano también hay gente que militó en la resistencia, en la contrarrevolución en este caso, y en el Ejército Popular Sandinista, o bien en la Policía Nacional. Estamos hablando de gente que pudo haber estado desde los años 60, desde los años 60 y desde los años 80. En la Policía Nacional de Nicaragua y en el Ejército de Nicaragua no se asciende en grado. Cuando se terminó la guerra, se tomó una decisión, y es que no se ascendía a nadie en grado en el escalafón militar mientras no fuera a la universidad a sacar una o dos licenciaturas. De manera que la gente que antes pasó 10 años en la guerra, al terminar la guerra se metió a la universidad a estudiar. Y entonces ahora nosotros tenemos militares de alta calificación, muchos de ellos graduados aquí en España, otros que han sacado sus especialidades en Taiwán, otros que han sacado especialidades en Francia, y los tenemos licenciados en Derecho, los tenemos licenciados en Administración de Empresas o con maestría o con diplomas incluso en Ingeniería Civil. Si a usted lo agarró el fin de la guerra como capitán en Nicaragua y no se metió a estudiar a la universidad, usted está en el 2013 igual de capitán o en retiro. Si a usted lo agarró al final de la guerra como capitán y se fue a la universidad, usted es coronel, a mayor, a coronel o a general. El jefe del área de preparación combativa del Ejército, para citar un caso, Álvaro Balsodano, en los años 80, que era coronel. Álvaro es ahora el director de la empresa de Zona Franca. que maneja muchísimo de la relación comercial a nivel de inversión extranjera en el país. Teníamos el jefe militar de la zona norte, la zona más fuerte del país, por ejemplo. El jefe militar de la zona terminó la guerra, pasó a retiro, se metió a estudiar, una maestría, un posgrado, una especialidad, otra especialidad, y estaba, hasta hace poco era presidente del Banco Central de Nicaragua. Entonces, en nuestro país parte de la reconciliación ha sido eso. Todos están en todos los sectores, pero principalmente, usted que preguntaba, por la reinserción de la gente que estaba en la guerra. Se terminó la guerra y la gente se metió a estudiar. Y no se metió a estudiar, no superó. Y eso ha sido gran parte del éxito del país.
¿Alguna otra pregunta? Este galderaren bat. Bueno, nik aurkezpenerako neuzkan minutua janditut, pentsatuz larriago ebiliko ginela eta behintzat aipamen bat egin nahi dut. Niri tokatu zaidan maila honetan, landu ditugun kasuak dira Argentina, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Irlanda, Kurdistan, Siria, gaur egun, eta gizarte zibilaren funtzioa. Kontuan hartzen baldin badegu kasu horietaz guztietaz, guk pertsona normal batek dakiena, normalean edozein herrialdetaz dakiguna baino gehiago da. Eta horrek erakusten du ze puntutaraino bertan bizi izan diren egoerak larriak dire. Decía que el conocimiento que tenemos sobre los sitios de los que hemos hablado hoy es más profundo de lo que suele ser sobre otros sitios. Es decir, la situación en esos países ha sido tan grave que cualquier persona normal tiene más conocimiento sobre lo que ha ocurrido en Argentina, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Irlanda, de lo que tiene sobre otros sitios. Junto a eso tenemos el caso de Kurdistán, probablemente uno de los casos menos conocidos y seguramente más graves del siglo anterior y probablemente del actual, con una diferencia sustancial. Si en unos casos hemos hablado de situaciones en las que ya esa paz se ha conseguido y se está desarrollando en términos positivos, en el caso sirio y particularmente en el caso kurdo, lo que tenemos es precisamente la guerra más cruenta en este momento. Y por otro lado está la experiencia de lo que es la sociedad civil y el papel que deben jugar las instituciones. Hoy aquí el ayuntamiento, la diputación, los partidos, pero sobre todo también la universidad. Me parece que es importante, de los casos que hemos visto, ver el salto tan grande que hay de tener que saber lo que estaba ocurriendo en esos países como personas corrientes, tener un conocimiento más profundo de lo normal, porque eran situaciones realmente graves, a la situación que nos han contado, las experiencias que hemos tenido hoy. Y por otro lado, la situación siempre particularmente grave de los kurdos y la importancia de la sociedad civil, del trabajo de las universidades, las instituciones, los ayuntamientos. Quiero terminar agradeciendo al Ayuntamiento de Donostia y a su alcalde particularmente el organizar este foro y el invitarnos a mí personalmente, al periódico, a moderarlo y a los invitados que han venido. Adelantamos el café.
Eskerrik asko.